Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming, and very shortly, Season 11 of Diablo 4. With this video, I'm here to give you the quick idea of the leveling path, important things to know going into the season. There are different changes on this patch, including the return of capstones and, interestingly, XP boosting options via seasonal mechanics. However, it's important to know that from the PTR to launch version, things have changed. Take the XP buff thing, it has been heavily nerfed because it was comically strong in the PTR. But at the same time, they've apparently buffed the XP value of the Undercity pre-level 60 in a massive way. We simply don't know until we get to test it on the live version. But of course we have a logical layout, and it will be up to you to follow along and see how things feel and make adjustments where you may need to. But it should be fine, honestly. The guide does assume you have some basic D4 knowledge and awareness of Season 11. I will fill in some details as we go, but if you do want a full overview of the season and what's going on with it, then that has a video on the channel right now. With that said, let's begin. What do you do before you start leveling? Well, as always, you need to make your new character on the new season and skip the campaign. The big thing here is the difficulty choice. Usually you'll pick normal to blast, then progress into higher difficulties the moment you power spike. For many classes, that's going to be around level 15 as you get class passives unlocked, as well as having amulets and rings to actually imprint powerful aspects on. Then you would go up to the highest difficulty you can while still killing everything basically instantly. And if you start to slow down, that's when you want to drop the difficulty. So you scale that from normal all the way to penitent while leveling and manage it. But of course, the higher difficulty means more XP, so you want to be on higher if you can. But now you're in game, pull up the inventory and click the wardrobe button at the top left. Go to the pets tab and equip the pet. So it'll auto gather currency and materials for you. Then you want to pull up the mercenaries menu or the map and teleport to the den and get your mercenaries equipped and active. For options, Vayana is a classic choice for leveling because of her attack speed benefits, but to be fair, Rahir remains that reliable crutch through the lower torments while your resistances are low. But by doing this first thing, you'll get to Pale Marks sooner, and you can use those to barter for aspects that you need into the early grind. We begin with levels 1 to 30 plus or so. First thing you do is Kiovershad, go to the Raising Spirit side quest, which is just north of the main waypoint, marked on the map with a blue quest marker. You'll speak with Guard Bozza, and cheer next to the guards right next to them. The reward is a pile of herbs, so you have that for when you first craft elixirs at level 10, and since this takes no time, we always do it. When you are level 10, you can start crafting elixirs at any alchemist, providing a small XP boost for everything you're doing. You want those running the whole time you're leveling? At least have some sort of XP buff on. Basic elixirs come at level 10 for a 5% increase, and then you swap to advanced elixirs at 50 for an 8% increase. There's also incense to stack on top of that, but you'll be doing that more towards endgame. Now it's time to get rolling with the seasonal level, but now it's time to get rolling. As always, you follow the seasonal story as far as it takes you, which will direct you to generally what you want to be doing anyway, and they have been getting more and more bare bones with it, just sending you to the content and letting you get on with it. In our case, we'll be doing Helltide for the now post-PTR nerfed XP buff. Again, it is nerfed, but more XP is more XP. To get this, we'll need to kill Duriel via the Helltide, as lots of things have changed and bosses are showing up in different locations. So when you go to the Helltide to do the Infernal Maiden ritual, Duriel will show up instead. And after killing him, you'll unlock the Essence of Squalor, which is the XP boost we care about. It basically means that maggots in the Helltide will now begin to spawn and drop XP globes, and the effect of that is doubled if the essence is in a purified slot. So with that gift, you put it into the first purified slot you unlock, which comes via the reputation board. You play the game, you get reputation, and you just put that first purified slot with that essence, and then run a lot of Helltide, benefiting from all these XP globes. So with that set up, you just do Helltide and the classic Whisper combo together, just with the extra XP of the globes. As a quick reminder, Helltide is easier and faster the more players there are around. This shouldn't be an issue on launch day, as players will be everywhere. Anyway, you just target all the Whispers in each Helltide area, batching them together efficiently, hand in the Whispers at 10 Grim Favors, and continue back to Helltide. You'll use the ritual whenever it's available, whenever you've got the hearts or other people summon it, and around that blast events, pack mobs, open chests with the cinders, and eventually reach the end of the first Helltide. As these go on for 1 hour per hour, so in the last 5 minutes of an hour, it ends, despawns, resets, and spawns in a new place. This is a great period to take a small break from just the grind and sort your character out. Selling, dismantling items, getting the materials to imprint, doing your class quest if you've never done that before, and head to the relevant dungeons to unlock the codex aspects for your leveling build. An example of that, Minion Necromancer. They'll want reanimation for the biggest early bonus. They go do that dungeon, get the aspect in the codex, and imprint it on the first amulet that they find for the biggest benefit. You can also consider imprinting on rings, gloves for offensive aspects, or maybe even one defensive like Juggernauts, Disobedience, or like a class specific one if you need the defense. This is also a chance for you to think about difficulty. If it's been way too easy, you could up the difficulty a bit to get more XP for your time. But then it's back to Hell Tides to repeat until we're strong enough for the first Capstone dungeon, which will be around 30 plus. So, Capstones are back. So for us on a leveling journey, it'll be a way to get some more skill points and later paragon points. You'll see that the season journey itself is replaced by the season ranking system, which is special objective still, that now provides skill points and paragon points and other stuff. We'll also be getting season blessings from this, which is obviously important to think about and get active. So as shown via the dev stream, rank 1 has a major objective to access rank 2, which is complete the Vault of the Crucible, which is monster level 30 and hard difficulty, our first capstone. So at roughly around level 30 plus, you'll go do that. And on the way, you'll target season rank mini objectives where possible, but save the stronghold one for a specific moment we'll highlight shortly. But with the capstone complete, it's back to the grind to get to 50. We hit Helltide, farm Durals, do whispers, and blast on higher difficulties that we can manage. Don't forget that your weapon eye level is going to lead to massive power gains during this phase. You've got Obel Gambling and the mercenary barter system to target weapons if RNG hasn't been kind to you. Now on this journey, you might just find Undercity tributes. Specifically what we care about are the growth tributes, because that provides the special XP bonus when you do them. This was newly buffed beyond even the PTR. Here's what they said. Significantly increase the potency of tribute of growth experience rewards before level 60, and increase the potency of experience orbs that spawn from any Undercity run before level 60. They have also mentioned that the tributes will be rarer before Torment. So should you find a growth tribute, you should go run it as soon as possible pre-level 60. Now there is every chance that it's still not as good as running the Helltide, but it's worth checking, because if it turns out to be incredible XP, then you want to do them every time you have them. For our next section then, we should roughly be level 50. This is the time for the classic Stronghold strat, where you drop down to normal difficulty, yes, normal, because when you complete a stronghold on normal difficulty, you get a big burst of XP. And if you're on hard or penitent, it's the same amount of XP. So by being on normal, you clear it really quick, you get to the big burst of XP, then go to the next stronghold. We don't want to skip strongholds in general. As shown on the season rank missions, you'll need to conquer 3 of them, and you'll be ticking multiple boxes at once by doing this. But when you're done with all the strongholds on the map, that's when you'll take on the next capstone to get your next set of skill points and progress the season rank. We want to do that after all the strongholds so we're high level as possible and get it done effectively. As we've seen, it should require you to go to penitent difficulty and complete it, and enemies there would be about level 50. Once that's done, we'll finish up in the Helltide if we're still not level 60. But at this stage you could also consider the pit, so let's talk about that. You can now take on the pit before level 60, and you'll start at that 10th tier as well, which is a nice speed up. So if you feel very strong around this point, you could drop Helltide and other stuff and prepare for Torment 1. So we'll have to sort out our equipment, swap to our actual endgame build if we're able to. When you're level 60, you start to get paragon boards and points to consider, and glyphs start to drop, torment modes and all that get going. So to be strong, we need to invest. This means tempering all of the gear that you can cheaply for flat defense and damage bonuses where possible. Percent bonuses are always going to be great, but flat numbers are really good at this low level when under geared, where you've got very low numbers in general. You obviously imprint on any gear that's going to have an impactful aspect or benefit to it. Of course, slap on any gems or runes that you can fit and get them working, with a priority on runes over gems. Enchant anything you need to just to get the right affixes if there's something really impactful, but that's like a lower priority thing. Getting your toughness up and your maximum life will be a really good idea though, via enchanting. At this stage, it might be worth doing some quick nightmare dungeons too to get some resources of variety for the purpose of upgrading and getting this stuff going. You'll also get glyphs here as a great option. It should be pretty easy. But the whole point is getting the sort of core of your build online for a power spike to then get, Torment 1 unlocked by completing a tier 10 pit. But when you're finally into the Torment endgame at Torment 1, it's time for that classic longer term progression. We start in Torment 1, but then we'll steadily push into 2, 3, and then finally 4. On the way then, we have our new season rank thing to specifically push by doing specific objectives that it tells us to do, as well as the capstones on the way. So initially we'll stick to Torment 1 and hunt down things like lair bosses to get the uniques we want, get higher eye level equipment, especially weapons. Again, I recommend your Pale Mark trading with your mercenaries and the Obel Gambling for that. But as soon as you're ready, you do the capstone that we're currently being walled by. So this does mean like Helltides initially, lair bosses. Don't forget that lair bosses are free to kill, but the loot chest after they die is the thing that requires their respective keys. The keys come from the relevant content to them. There are higher tiers that require higher tier keys to actually unlock. so we'll initially be going after tier 1 bosses at this point. But you target the uniques you need, like for example, there's the new Golem Necromancer weapon, Gravebloom. I know that comes from Beast in the Ice, so I'll be doing content to get keys for Beast in the Ice and farming him early. Don't forget though, when you're doing lair bosses, the more people in your group, the more item drops, so it's better if you can. But yeah, you bounce between all the different content, focused on whatever helps you the most right now. That could be running nightmare dungeons for great glyph drop rates and to fish for escalations and other resources. It could mean spending times in the pit to actually level those glyphs up. You could be balancing between Helltides and Whispers for many gear drops, or focusing lair bosses where possible to get the uniques you need. There's the Undercity for runes and other great tribute drops that should be worth a lot more this season. All while you likely modify that content through the season gift system at the time. Again, if you want a guide to all the new features and mechanics of this season, we have a dedicated video. And the moment you're strong enough, you progress the pit tiers as far as you can to unlock the higher torment levels and challenge the current capstone. Following the season progression, getting higher rank, and unlocking your paragon points from whatever next capstone's walling you. So it will naturally bring you all the way to Torment 4. So yeah, good luck. That's my overview of the leveling path and the journey we'll all be going on. I hope that was clear and understandable. And we'll be dropping more content for Season 11, all kinds of guides and helpful advice. Until then, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.